Good morning, dear students. This is Professor S.B. Vendigiri, Department of Economics, taking online classes for BCom 6th semester students. My dear students, in the last class, we have understood the types of various plans. Okay. Now, in today's online class, let us have a discussion on the another important subtopic of the same unit, that is objectives of planning in India. Okay. What are the basic objectives of economic planning in India? These are very important, and in every plan year, government is taking its own uh, positive decisions, and with ultimate objectives, how to reach the target, how to reach the destination, and what all to be done in the future, and what are the expectations of the plan. So these all things are discussed in case of objectives. Now look at the first objective of the planning in India, that is removal of economic backwardness. The ultimate goal of the economic planning of a particular country, or else India for example, is how to remove the economic backwardness. Economic backwardness is nothing but how to bring lots of changes in the economic activities, how to improvise the efficiency of the workers as well as entrepreneurs, and how to eradicate poverty of the country, and how to increase the number of employment opportunities, to remove unemployment problem of the nation. Okay, so if we are focusing on these areas, there is a possibility of removal of economic backwardness. And this particular objective is a long term objective, and we are not supposed to reach the destination target of the this objective as easy as possible. It takes a lot of time to reach the target and bring lots of changes in economic activities. Okay, so it is a long term plan and a long term objective of the economic planning of the country. Look at the second one, benefits to weaker sections of the society. The ultimate goal of the economic planning of India is to provide all basic facilities to the weaker sections, so common people of the society, and providing the ultimate facilities to the last person of the society. When the last person of the society is enjoying all the basic facilities of the country, that is the ultimate target of the economic planning. So economic planning is successful only when the last person of the society enjoying all basic facilities of the nation, that is nothing but benefits to the weaker sections of the society. Okay, how to provide basic facilities as well as benefits to the weaker section, in the sense to the poor class people of the society, and imposing heavy tax on rich class people as indirect tax, and the taxable amount will be turned as expenditure to the weaker sections of the society in the different plan years. Okay, so that is nothing but benefits to weaker sections of the society is another important objective of planning of India. Okay, look at the third important objective, that is economic growth. Economic growth is also a comprehensive what we call it as concept, and not that easy to reach as soon as possible. Sometimes what happens, all plans are not successive. Few plans may success, or few others may not be success. It is because of financial matters, political matters, and atmospheric, for example, issues. Okay, so because of several reasons, sometimes plans are not success. But here what happens in the beginning, when plans are prepared, determined in the predetermined, each and every plan's ultimate objective is to increase economic growth of the country in the days to come. Okay, how to increase economic growth? Economic growth can be possible only when we are focusing on certain areas. Look at those areas. If you are having a look on those areas, productive capital, we have to increase productive capital for all the sectors of the economy, for agriculture, industry, as well as service sector. Okay, we have to provide productive capital, means whatever capital is provided to the entrepreneurs, those entrepreneurs must utilize that kind of capital only for productive purposes. But what happens in India, most of the people, those who are getting loans as well as credits, as well as for example capital from others, they are not using it for productive purposes. They are using it for unproductive purposes, like marriages, festivals, for example, okay, and other entertainments. If a huge amount of capital is spent for these areas, there is no possibility of economic growth. Okay, so whatever amount of capital is provided, made available to the entrepreneurs as well as workers, that should be used only for productive purposes. Then only there is a possibility of economic growth, and there is a possibility of success of each 5-year plan supposed to be. Okay, and in the same thing in economic growth, providing services like transport and banking facilities. Okay, we need to provide continuous banking facilities, transportation facilities for the economic growth of the country. And in addition to that, to increase the efficiency of the labor and capital, okay, we need to increase the efficiency of the labor and capital for the economic growth of the country. How to increase efficiency? You can increase the efficiency of the labor with the help of providing the basic needs of each worker. Basic needs in the sense road facilities, housing facilities, clothing, for example, okay, electricity facility, education for their children, pure and safety drinking water facilities, medical facilities. Okay, when we are providing such kind of facilities, there is a possibility of increasing the efficiency of labor as well as capital also. Okay, so when we are increasing the efficiency of labor and capital, there is a possibility of economic growth. And growth can be possible when there is an increase in the gross domestic product. We need to increase GDP, national income, with the help of encouraging agriculture sector, industrial sector, and as well as service sector. When government is giving preference for development of agriculture, industry, and service sector, there is a possibility of increase in the gross domestic product, and it leads economic growth of the economy simultaneously. Okay, and look at the another important aspect of the economic growth, that is per capita income and national income. To reach and to expect to increase economic growth of the economy, we need to increase per capita income as well as national income. Per capita income and national income are the two important instruments to bring drastic changes in the economic growth of the country. As individual income increases, income of an individual is called as per capita income. As income of an individual increases, it leads total national income, and it leads savings as well as profits, as well as investment, exports, and there is an increase in the inflow of capital from other countries. So there is a interlink between all these areas when there is a possibility of increasing the per capita income as well as national income. Okay, now look at another important objective of planning, that is modernization. How to bring modernization? Modernization is a most important objective of economic planning in recent years. At present, government is to pay attention on how to bring lots of changes in the technology, how to adopt technology for all the sectors of the economy. Modernization is nothing but encouraging sunrise industries by providing technology, by providing assistance, okay, financial assistance, for example, okay, and adoption of new technology, change in social outlook, shift in sectoral contribution, and institutional innovations are the best examples for modernization. How to these are the best examples for modernization to bring drastic changes in the economic development of the country. We need to adopt modern technology in all the sectors, and we need to bring social change in the social outlook. You know why? India is known for religious country. People of the country are believe in God, believe in religions, their own customs, but they have to overcome by these restrictions. Then only there is a possibility of economic growth as well as increase in the modernization. Okay. Now next one, self-reliance. Self-reliance means self-independent. The ultimate objective of the planning of India is to make India self-independent. Independent means we need to have independency in all the areas. Okay, reliance is nothing but independence. How it is possible? How self-reliance is possible? It is possible only when development through domestic resources are possible. Okay, we need to develop our country with the help of domestic resources. It means we are not supposed to depend on resources from abroad. Okay, we need to utilize our own resources to bring development in a faster, for example, growth. Okay, that is the best example for self-reliance. Okay, economic growth and what is that modernization with self-owned resources. Okay, we need to bring economic growth and modernization with the help of self-owned our own resources. So when we are able to utilize the domestic as well as our own resources for the development of the country, that is the good indicator of self-reliance. Okay, hope you understood. And reducing dependency on imports. We need to minimize the imports and maximizing exports. Okay, and adopting import substitution. Import substitution means instead of importing ready-made, for example, goods and services, we need to import only raw materials and making those raw materials as ready-made garments within the country. That is known as import substitution. Okay, so import substitution is another best example for being self-reliant. Okay, and another important aspect of the self-reliance is to avoid foreign interference. Okay, the best example for foreign interference is British rule. More than 250 years, British men, English men ruled us. We need to avoid such kind of interference of others. Then only there is a possibility of becoming self-reliant. Okay. Next one is land reforms. We need to bring lots of changes in the land reforms. Okay, like Tribunal Act, for example, and bringing and avoiding and removing Jamindari system and Mahalwari system and bringing Raitwari system in the economy. Okay, and maintaining the data and records of the land, for example. Okay, so if we are bringing long-term changes in the land reforms, it is also partially responsible for the success of every plan and ultimate objective of the economic planning. Social justice. Social justice is another area which is adopted and which is taken as a main, for example, aspect of the economic planning. Social justice means justice for all. There is no injustice for any single common man in the economy. Providing justice for all, okay, is also possible with the help of economic planning supposed to be. Okay, and economic reforms, timely implementation of reforms. Suppose, for example, labor reforms, bringing reforms in labor policy, agriculture policy, industrial policy, service sector policy. Okay, if periodically we are going to implement such kind of policies, it is a good sign of bringing lots of changes in the economic reforms. Okay, full employment condition. Full employment condition is another objective of economic planning of India. Full employment means every person of the country, every person of the nation should have job employment opportunity. Okay, when every person is having employment opportunities, that is the stage of full employment. Okay, there is no question, there should not be a question of unemployment. Okay, it is a kind of eradication of complete unemployment from the economy. Look at the last objective of the planning of India is reducing inequality in income and wealth. Okay, how to reduce inequalities in income and wealth? Especially in India, what happened? Rich become richer and poor become poorer. There is a big gap between rich and poor. The gap is widening. It is like a flattening curve. For example, gap is widening. When gap is increasing, there is no possibility of bringing equality between rich and poor. We need to minimize. We need to fill that gap between rich and poor with the help of every 5-year plans. Government is to take necessary steps to provide all facilities to the rural poor and imposition of heavy tax on rich class people. The same taxable income must be utilized as expenditure for the development of poor class people. It is nothing but reducing inequality in income and wealth. I hope all of you understood. This is all about the objectives of economic planning in India. Okay. With this, let us stop our today's discussion. Remaining part of this same topic we shall discuss in the next class. Okay. Thank you very much.